A caller who's a former national security official shares some thoughts on where we might be going with this Trump administration. Check it out, ring the bell or ding the bell, leave your comments, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Dave in Federal Way, Washington. Hey, Dave, what's on your mind today?
Hey, not too much, Tom. I essentially wanted to agree with you, but I'll just put a little nuanced point on some things. Yeah, blackmail probably was happening, but blackmail, like Erdogan and Trump, is like two mafiosos, trying to influence one another. Okay, and in other words, it's a small piece of it. What concerns me more is this allusion you gave to an October surprise. And some people might say, well, why does Dave care about an October surprise? Well, because I think in this environment that Trump has created, this international geopolitical environment, an October surprise can really go sideways into World War III. Okay.
Yes.
It's going to get out of control.
We've already seen Republicans do this twice. We saw Nixon do it to Hubert Humphrey, to LBJ, and we saw the Reagan campaign. Bill Casey was apparently the engineer of this. And in fact, the day he was supposed to testify to Congress, he had a seizure in his office at the CIA and was taken off to Bethesda, where they removed the part of his brain that controls speech. They kind of cut out his tongue. And so he never had to testify. And then, of course, 5 guys were convicted for this in the Iran-Contra thing. And in '92, Bill Barr was the Attorney General, and he advised George Bush the elder to pardon them all, to shut down the investigation, which is exactly what happened. So we've seen these October surprises where basically a Republican committed treason to become president happen twice that we're pretty sure we know of. We know for sure about the Nixon one. We've got the tapes. And according to the president of Iran, we know about the Reagan one. So, Dave, what is it that could go sideways that most concerns you as a former intelligence officer?
Well, again, I'm going to bring back George Bush into the conversation. I know he's been completely, he's been completely redeemed. But the problem is, after the Gulf fiasco, or what we did in Iraq, okay, most
of
the oil...
George Bush the elder's first Gulf War. That's the one you're talking about.
George Bush the younger.
Oh,
George Bush the younger.
Okay. So
I was in Beijing. Yeah, I was in Beijing at the oil refinery. Okay, there's a big one in Beijing. And during that time period, that was a big recruiting place for Al Qaeda and 200 other franchise terrorist organizations. Okay, and this thing simultaneously, everyone forgets, China and Russia were securing all the natural gas and oil contracts out of Iraq through a fair capitalist bidding process. We didn't sweat it because guess what? This is the United States of America. We control all the land. Okay, we control all the land. So this is what I see Moscow doing, and you brought it up once. You hinted to it with Saudi Arabia in the paying American forces this whole mercenary thing. Nobody's paying attention to. Mike Flynn always promoted this big expansion of Blackwater or XE, whatever you want to call it. The reason why the Russians and Chinese want this so bad is they want to get boots on the ground. They want to be able to control the land around the oil they own. All right? And this is where an October surprise can start out just as a political machination, right? But pretty soon, Russia and China, they may not be satisfied with just getting Donald Trump in there. They may want something either us or our allies will not relinquish, like maybe some sort of oil off the coast of the Arctic Ocean that goes into Canada.
Oh, yeah.
The receding Arctic. I mean, pretty soon they're going to want something that we are not going to,
and you're saying something bigger than Russia wanting Ukraine or China wanting Taiwan. Although either of those could be World War III flashpoints too.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I mean, if you own, Tom, you just got to think about it in common sense. If you own something, all right, and somebody else controls your access to it, all right, you're going to try to erode that control. You're going to. You're going to try to get to what you own, all right, so you have positive control over it, not just, and Donald Trump is simply, he is simply an authoritarian that, he went to an Ultimate Fighting Championship this weekend, not getting much media attention. Right. I mean, Vladimir Putin did rap. I mean, him and Putin, they're like identical twins. I sometimes wonder, why people can't see this. But the problem is America, if America goes this route, I'm not saying we're superior to anybody. What I'm saying is we're like France during the French Revolution, all right? If we go this route, there's going to be huge global instability that might last for centuries. We don't even know. But with, what's different between France and the French Revolution and now are the weapons we have access to. I mean, I say it might last centuries. It might only last minutes if you get my understanding.
Yes.
If you get what I'm trying to say.
That's what a nuclear war would probably just last minutes, and would be absolutely devastating. Yeah, I am very concerned. I'm also very concerned that if it turns out that Kushner actually did authorize what turned out to be the killing of Khashoggi by MBS in the Turkish embassy, and Erdogan knows it and is blackmailing Trump with it. And that's why we pulled our forces out of Syria. That's one of probably multiple things for which the Trump crime family can be blackmailed. And so who's going to blackmail them next? Who's Erdogan whose door is he going to knock on? Is it going to be Moscow's or is it going to be Beijing's? Is he going to go to President Xi and say, hey, I've got something you can use on Trump? And suddenly Trump is like, oh, yeah, okay, trade is just fine. No more tariffs. And or is Trump going to somehow blunder into something or be forced into something that triggers, like you said, World War III, or even just, we don't have to go to the worst case scenario, just a war, just a regional war?
Yeah, well, let me put you this way, Tom. Do you think the authorities in Riyadh, do you think they are so incompetent that they just killed this Khashoggi guy on foreign soil? Turkey is foreign to them, right?
Right.
They killed him so grotesquely and so incompetently, it could have been done by, say, I don't know, Saddam Hussein. There's no way they're that incompetent. They just simply did not care. Right? They were sending a message with this death of Khashoggi, okay? And did Kushner have a part in sending that message? Oh, he might be like you said. He may not have known they were going to, do that much. He may have just thought they were going to arrest him.
Right.
But the bottom line is, it's not the way we're supposed to abide by laws in this country.
Right.
That's one of the things that make us the last remaining superpower. We're all subject to the same laws, right?
At least in theory, yes.
At least in theory. And this is what I'm saying. It's more than just me complaining, all right, about unfairness.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it takes the last remaining superpower in the world and makes us nothing really more than just a kleptocracy somewhere. You just pick a place.
Yeah, yeah, just another.
Banana Republic.
Yeah, exactly, and it empowers all these other autocrats around the world. From Duterte to Bolsonaro, and in between, and everybody in between. It makes them feel like, oh, well, America does it, I can do it too.